Amazing. Okay, so now that we have that going, welcome to loving and healing your inner child. We're going to be addressing a lot of things that our inner child might be struggling with, but I invite you to get really playful. I invite you to step out of judgment because this is a part of you that really needs to be heard. Also, this part of you might be clouded by teachers or parents or family members that you've had in the past. And really, what we're trying to do today is to nurture ourselves into finding our voices again. So, like I was mentioning, Gemini season, this whole energy of Gemini that's lasting into January or June 2025 is really a time for you to really nurture that inner child, get out and practice communication, well, self-expression, but also practicing the communication in the way that you want to communicate. Your communication in general could get more effective from now until about June of next year. So it's a really great window of opportunity for this healing. So, any questions, Bao, before we get started? Oh, I will ask you to journal a lot. Maybe we won't share too much. There'll be instances where I will ask you to share. I'm not going to ask anyone directly, but if you feel called, remember, when you make things real, when you share, this experience that you have, there's an opportunity to grow and make it real for the body as well, because we're in the 5D in the spiritual aspect of things, but then in the 3D it's a lot denser. So in order to make manifest this 5D spiritual experience, it's talking out loud or moving the body, or it's validating that you actually had that experience by writing it down or drawing it out. That's how you can make it real. So I'm excited you're here. All right. And if you can, please make sure you take a deep breath, and you can have a chair with a back supporting you. If not, that's okay. Put your feet flat on the ground if you can. And I invite you to close your eyes and go within. Breathe. And allow your attention to go right behind your eyes, the seat of your clairvoyance, the place where you can see as a spirit. Breathe. And it might be a little dark in there, so we're going to turn on the light. Turn on your light in there. And allow that light to be bright gold, clean it out. There might be even some just kind of cobwebby things. Clean that out, clean that space out. And from this place right behind your eyes, say hello to the spiritual part of you. Say hello to validating you as a spirit. And if you're working with, you might hear your guides, you might hear, something that you're growing inside of you too. You might hear a higher part of yourself. So just say hello to that part of you. And now notice right at the base of your tailbone, there is this chakra, point of light. And that has to do with your survival. So go ahead and just allow this chakra to have connected to it this big tree trunk. Let's invite it to be something fun, like a eucalyptus tree or a sequoia, or those rainbow trees from Hawaii, where they have all these colors in them. They're beautiful. So get playful with this and just allow that to be as wide as your hips, this tree trunk. And there's a line of light connected from this first chakra all the way into this tree trunk. There you go. Nice job. When you did that, I'm just watching the energy. When some of you did that, it actually expanded the space, expanded your space as beings. There you go. Okay, so now go ahead and just watch this tree trunk go down past the floor, down past the pipes, down past the water table and the dirt in the earth, down past the lava, and into this energetic place called the center of the earth, this neutral place. And as it clicks in there, there's going to be a flow that starts to automatically be created. It's a downward flow, and it's of wind or water moving downwards from your aura, from your space to the center of the earth, releasing what no longer serves you. We're taking our time with this because this is a grounding practice that's going to help us be able to connect deeper and also heal anything that's really not for our best and highest good. Anything that's clouding us from being able to hear our own voice and our own creativity and our intellect, our wit, our playfulness. There you go. And now go ahead and just say hello to yourself in your body and reminding yourself that you are creating belonging within you. You have belonging, you have home within you. You have safety and shelter within you, no matter where you go. There you go. Because a part of yourself we might be looking at today might have felt like there wasn't a home within you, or you wanted more than just a place to eat and sleep. Wanted a place to be acknowledged and flourish. And as you're grounding, just know that you taking up space like this into the center of the earth is acknowledging that this part of you is allowed to take up space and have belonging and have home just by existing. There you go. This is the energy that you can be in to help manifest and materialize the life that you want. Because that makes the 5D into the 3D. And now that you have grounded, and let's intentionally release any resistance around healing, any resistance around change, any resistance around growth in terms of things feeling a little rocky in order to get to the other side, which might be joy, groundedness, happiness. Release resistance around transitions. There you go. Good job. Maybe a black, a gray, a little bit of red, anger in there. Just release that. Okay. And above your head, notice that there's a big gold magnet. And this magnet is attracting all your energy back to you from this and any other lifetime. So call it back, call it back. And as it starts to be called back, it's forming this big gold sun. Really beautiful energy. Your energy, the highest and neutral version of yourself, of this energy. All this energy is neutralized so that it's not holding anybody else's energy but your highest and healed vibration. And as this gold sun forms, just allow it to have the energy of your belonging and your love, your energy of home, your energy of love. There you go. And pop it, send it all the way down into your cells, filling every single cell Really getting deep in there. Front, back, sides, all around you. Face. Beautiful. All right. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and take a deep breath. All right. Hello, hello, hello. So that was just part of us getting ready for this deep healing. I'd love for you to be able to take your journal and make two columns. So columns, one column is moments in life as a child, and child can be up till 18 years old. Yes, teenager is still a child in this case. That's what we're considering. Moments in life as a child up till about 18 where you felt so much joy, and they can be specific moments, and then moments in life where you felt the opposite of joy. And I invite you to, use specific moments. That time, the bully in the sixth grade stole my lunch, or, that time where I got to go fishing with my grandfather and we caught a huge fish and we made it for dinner. Whatever it might be, I'm going to invite you to write that down, and get specific. And then there might just be overall feelings, like the moments where I felt sad, or moments where I have to move and leave my home. Whatever it is, write that down. 2 minutes. Or I'll give you 3 or 4. Let me give you 4. First column is moments in joy, moments where you had joy, and then the other is where you had tougher moments. Thirty more seconds. All right. So now that those are at the forefront of your mind, now that you've seen those, you've thought about those, we're going to go in deeper with them. But you wrote them, you don't have to actually think too deeply about them, just you can put them to the side. And I'm going to invite you to, well, we're going to actually meet our inner child right now, and we're going to ask her some questions. We're going to get curious about her and actually feel like we're giving her a loving space to be able to be who she's ready to be. So, when you're ready, go ahead and put your feet flat on the ground, close your eyes, take a deep breath, breathe, and allow your attention to go right behind your eyes again. Notice that grounding cord that you created. It was a big grounding cord. It's still working for you. As soon as you create your grounding cord, it's always going to be working for you. And again, say hello to yourself. Validate yourself as a spirit. Say hello to your space, your aura. That's your personal bubble all around you. And now go ahead and just visualize out in front of you a safe space that your inner child would be in. And this could be the building, this could be a playground, but this is just the structure, the outdoor exterior of this area. And just notice what that feels like when you are bringing this up, when you're seeing this. And I invite you to see your first, second, and third chakras close down. And how you do that is you just notice that first point of light where we have that tree trunk. You imagine it as if it's a camera shutter and you close it to about 10% open. And then 2 fingers below your belly button is your second chakra. Just close that down to about 10% open. And then this next one, Crystal, you can keep yours open because it's working. But the rest of us can close our third chakra, which is at your solar plexus, which is managing your energy distribution and how much energy is running through the body, your self-esteem, this power, all of that, your control energy. So in this case, everyone else can turn your chakra down to about 60% open. Okay, there you go. Nice. And just allow yourself to know that you're centered and sitting in the middle of your auric field or your personal bubble. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and walk towards the opening or the entrance of the space that you see. Walk through the rooms or maybe the hallway if it's a house. And there's a room in which your inner child is in. So let's go ahead and make our way there. The door is closed though, so just you can knock on it, can ring a bell or whatever it might be to let her know you're coming. And if she hasn't already greeted you at the door, you can open the door. Say hello to her. And if it's been a while since you've communicated with her, then just let her know that she's safe and that you're excited to connect with her again. And that you are able to bring this connection together because you are so curious about her. You want to connect deeply to her because you're curious. And what does that feel like to her when she says, when you're curious? Remember, okay, so if you haven't met your inner child before or it's been a while, know that sometimes it's hard for them to warm up. Just give her her time. Ask her how she's feeling right now. And maybe ask her if she can show you around where she is, show you around this room. Ask her some questions and see if she's open to sharing. So maybe you can ask her, what's her favorite thing to do in this room or thing to do in general right now? Her favorite food, her favorite animal, her favorite color. How does she want to celebrate her birthday? Ask her what people should know about her, what makes her so special. And there may be moments where she says, that she's resisting. And that's okay if she is, because you're allowed to have a conversation with her. And right now, just go ahead and ask her if there's been times where she's tried to communicate with you, maybe inside of your head or through your heart or through your gut. Ask her how she shows up for you in life right now, how she tries to communicate with you right now, so that you can become aware, if you haven't already, about how she's trying to send you messages. And ask her if there is something that she'd like for you to do to help this connection be a little bit stronger. So is it, putting her picture up on your mirror, or is it putting it on your phone, or is it allowing time like this to go deep in meditation and see her? Because there's a part of her that's coming out, though she's happy and excited, there's a part of her that feels maybe potentially sad. And let her know that you're here to listen to her and see her and allow her to be herself again, that there's space for that. And there's no one else that can fill her shoes. No one that can do it the way she can. It's beautiful. Good job, you guys. So invite her to sit down to get comfortable, because you're going to ask her some more questions. And if she resists, you can say that's okay. And you can also invite her, if she'd like to communicate with you in a different way, rather than talking about it, she can show you pictures, she can draw it for you, she can write it on a piece of paper. Invite her to find the communication that she's ready for with you right now. because sometimes some of these things are hard to talk about, and that can be okay. So ask her if she feels like she's allowed to be creative and silly and playful. And what would she like more of with her silliness or her creativity? Does she want her mom potentially to be more playful with her? Does she want her to feel like she can have space to be silly or make mistakes? Does she want to be hugged? Does she want to be validated for her silliness and her creativity and her playfulness? And it's okay to embrace her if she feels like she just needs it. Sometimes you just don't need to talk, and sometimes you just need to be embraced. And acknowledge that what she's feeling has been caused because of certain instances that happened in the past. If you'd like to rock her, that's okay too, but let her know. And she may change from, you might see her change from 5-year-old to 7-year-old to 8-year-old to 9-year-old. It might go back and forth. That's okay. Because these moments that you're sharing with her and talking with her about might have the energy of this sadness, this trauma, this experience within it at these different age levels. So you're actually healing all across time. In a way, time traveling. You're healing your heart by time traveling, by communicating to her and these versions of her. So just let her know that these moments are not present time, and that she has space to try out things she's never tried before. Because you've got her back and you are able to see the world and navigate it. You can show her that grounding cord that you have and tell her that's part of the reason why you're able to navigate the world, because you can stay grounded, you're allowed to take up space, you're in your power, and that she knows how to do that too. Because as a spirit, there's no time and space. There you go. And invite her to create a beautiful grounding if she'd like to. And then ask her how safe she feels. What's her sense of security within herself, within her space, within those around her? And ask her why she feels that way and what she might need to shift that. And she may want to ground with you as well. And let her know again that these are circumstances that are not in present time, but that you're able to shift this. That abundance can flow to you, that there's a possibility that you don't have to relive the life that you had before. that safety can be easy, that you are deserving of it. And you can just remind her, you can hold her and remind her that she gets to be safe with you, feeling you around, and that she's safe listening to the messages that she is trying to give you so that you can take care of her and you both can expand. You can ask her how she feels in her body and tell her that no matter how she feels, she picked this beautiful body that's capable of all these things. That this is the perfect body to learn her lessons through. This is the perfect way that she is able to learn what she needs to learn. And if anyone doesn't believe that or doesn't see that, allow her to remember that that's not in present time anymore. And you can tell her, look how strong our body is now. You can tell her about all the things that you've accomplished so far, even if you feel like they're not significant. Allow her to know that you've created a beautiful life so far. And we're going to do 2 more, and then we're going to step out of meditation, but just 2 more. So ask her about her ability to trust herself. Does she trust herself? And if she does, why does she trust herself? What makes her trust herself? And if she doesn't, why? And what does she need from you right now to help her keep having that trust? And then let's ask her about her energy and her ability to be this bright, shining being that she was when she came into the body as a little baby, 3-pound, 4-pound, 5-pound baby. Was her energy and her brightness silenced? Was there fear? Did she become dull and lackluster? And you might actually see this energy around her. So I invite you to just move your hands around her aura field and just allow those to move down her grounding cord, those energies that are covering her and blocking her shine so that she can be seen again. There you go. Take a deep breath. And invite her to call back her energy from anywhere she might have left it, any sad parts of herself, any tough parts of herself, any parts she's been angry. And you can also imagine you calling back your life, your energy from this and any other lifetime, right above your head in a big gold sun. And you can watch as you both fill in, pop that gold sun, fill in, fill in, fill in, fill in. Notice what that does to her space. Notice what it does for her to be watching your space. And when you are all filled in, you can gently open your eyes and stretch. We'll go in deeper again, but this is just the start. So just take a minute. We worked a lot. We were in there for a little bit. So just if you need a glass of water, if there were some insights, I'm going to give you a couple minutes because just to validate this. So if you want to write down any of the things around her creativity or her deeper connection to herself, her self-trust, her energy and her aliveness, her how she communicates to you too, how she wants you to acknowledge her. So those are all good things to write down right now so that you can validate them. And then we'll share in a second, but I'm going to give you a minute to write that all down. All right. Anyone feeling compelled to share anything? Maybe we all can use some ideas around how to acknowledge our inner child other than putting a picture up of her on a mirror or something else like that. Or something that made you feel surprised about her. Or how you know she's communicating with you in the moment. So she's connected to your intuition. So there may be moments where part of her sometimes is also like, oh, I'm scared of this situation, or oh, I don't know how to, or I don't want to turn left, or I'm not getting a good feeling about this. Like that's part of your inner child also communicating to you. Sometimes that inner child needs to be talked to in the moment, parented in the moment to be able to move through the situation. For example, if you know you have to have a hard conversation and you don't do, or your inner child is resisting it because of fear, or in the past she might have been abandoned, then it's so important to notice when she's talking to you so that you can talk her down and also reparent her, because that's part of your job as being part of her, connected to her. So anyone want to share anything at all about any of that? And that's okay if you,
I can.
yes, yes.
Um, well, something that, for me felt like I just kind of knew and intuitively did. And I think you even said after I did it, like, do this um, if you want to, because I just like took her in my arms, like she needed, to be in my arms, kind of like a baby. She was like 5 or 6, me. I was 5 or 6. Um, and then I just started rocking her, and then you were like, "Hey, rock her if you want." I was like, "Yeah." So that was really nice.
One step ahead of me. She intuitively already knew what to do, so I love. Oh, thank you for sharing. I'm this there may be a lot of emotions to this, so free to release. Thank you for sharing, Crystal. Anyone else have any moments around that, holding your inner child or being able to support her? You know what I think is really interesting is when you give yourself time to be able to connect daily to your inner child, because that really shifts a lot of things. So this is ritual. This is ritual around your intuition, around you, around honoring yourself. So it's honoring all parts of you. Truly, your inner child is a part of yourself that needs to be acknowledged so that it can help you expand in the world. And if you create ritual around seeing and connecting to your inner child, it might just even be writing a letter to her every single morning, journaling to her, but it'll increase this vibrational frequency within you, and it may create joy in your life too. So it's just something to think about. If it really appeals to you to have a picture of yourself on your phone or on your mirror, that's a way to acknowledge her as well. But little ways of allowing it to be a sacred ritual is actually going to make her feel like she can reveal more to you and have a bigger connection, or a stronger connection. Because as you might have noticed, for some of you, she may have been hard to talk to. And that's okay, because there's a lot of big feelings that she hasn't been able to talk to someone for years. So this is just a process of unraveling a lot of different things. Any questions about any of that before we keep going?
I have a question because with my inner child, my
Mhm.
younger self usually appears and she's like around 4 or 5 years old. And I've been doing a lot of inner child work, so I've talked to her quite a bunch and um so we've got like a good little relationship now.
Nice.
But what also appeared this time was like my teenage self. And my teenage self is much more like serious and um like quiet. And when I was talking to her, um the I kept like, what would make her feel like safer? And she's like, I want to be organized and I want to have a routine and I want to start making money. And I just like I didn't get it at the moment. Like after we came out of it, I was realizing like, oh my gosh, she's like really stuck with all the responsibility she had at that time. Because I was responsible for my sisters, and I had to handle the whole entire household. And I felt like so powerless and I had no control. And even though there was some sort of routine, everything was chaotic when my parents were around. And like the whole let's make money. I'm just like, because that was the only way. I'm like, if I have some money, then I have some freedom or I'll be able to sort of like escape.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I feel like I've gotten like my child self down, like, like we're okay now. I understand her. I know how she like comes out of me, her reactions, her feelings, how to make her feel better. But
Hmm.
now my teenage self, that's like something I hadn't tackled at all. That's now come up.
Great. I say great because that just means that you've up leveled in your healing. And so, I think I mentioned in the meditation, it might switch from inner child, like from younger child to teenage self. So it's okay if that happens too. But if it's just your teenage self, that's okay, because a part of that is also that's a child within you that still needs validation. So, um, were you able to talk with her and kind of reparent her, or be able to get through to her at least, or allow her to be vulnerable?
Yes, I was just like listening to what she had, what she had to say. I didn't like address anything really, just like I just pointed out like, oh, what I'm doing now and how maybe it can help, like, I don't know, help in some way, just like make her feel better or something. But
Mm.
I feel like I'm gonna have to do more of this.
With
Like,
her.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, um, and yeah, it can feel like, well, also at that time, as in an inner teen, it can feel like um there's a lot, like the emotions are even bigger because there's hormones and change. Like, I mean, we're working with an energetic being, but that still holds the same kind of energy, whether it's like actually biological in the 5D or in the 3D or not. So in this case, really being able to hold space for her having these big emotions is important, and you can let her know that the responsibility and responsibilities can change, and so that responsibility for herself is gets to be fun because she has those choices now. So for her, it might be that she needs more space for fun and creativity, and that you need to acknowledge, and maybe even silliness. And as we go through the second part of it, you can acknowledge that for her as well. But
mhm,
she may need to feel like the burden is now lifted from everyone else, and now she gets to enjoy, being responsible in a fun way for her. Because on some level, I know for you, Jessica, you do like the structure and the organization because yeah, it does make you feel safe, but it on some level, it might be a little fun too.
yeah,
So, um, so you can validate, yeah, like she's really good at this and she likes to do it because it's a way for her to self or serve people. But this gets to be for her now to serve in the way that she wants to serve herself. Um, and she gets to choose what she's, um, well, not who she's serving because it's about herself, but how she's serving and how she's creating those routines rather than it being of stress and of huge responsibility of something that she can't control. And I
yeah.
think reminding her that she has control is going to be helpful. Does that help?
Yes, that helps a lot. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have any questions about any of that? Anyone else see? And feel free to use the chat too. You don't have to unmute yourself. But you might have seen your inner child shift or might have had similar things where if there's this feeling of like not being able to be in control. And as we go, you can always type in the chat. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Before we go though, take some get some water. If you want to stretch a little bit, go ahead and do that. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds because it is kind of, we're going deeper. We're going to, really see this deeper part of ourselves. So go ahead and just take 30 seconds, stretch, and then then close your eyes. And I know once you've closed your eyes and you're going within, then we're ready to go. All right. So take a deep breath, allow your eyes to close if you haven't already. Acknowledge that grounding cord that you have that goes all the way down to the center of the earth. Validate that. And if you would like to widen out that tree trunk, go ahead and do that. Amazing. And allow your attention to be right behind your eyes. Acknowledge that you have space to love yourself and to be yourself. And we're actually going to call in one more big gold sun because it looks like we need it. So just call back all your energy from this and any other lifetime. And as you sit right behind your eyes, allow that gold sun to fall into your space, filling in every single part of you, front, back, sides, your eyes, your heart space. There you go. Good job. And when you're ready, imagine out in front of you that space where your inner teen, inner child would be, and go through the rooms, the space, and knock on the door again. Let her know you're coming. She may receive you differently this time. And just ask her, how would she like to be addressed? Does she want to be called your name, or does she want a nickname between you and her? Does she want a secret handshake between you and her? How does she want to be greeted by you? And now that you have done that, go ahead and sit next to her, have a seat, ask her to sit down with you. And ask her, or rather tell her, instead of having her sitting next to you, have her sit right across from you, actually. Grab a chair so you can look deeply into her eyes. And just have that moment of looking into her eyes deeply, really seeing her, really knowing her, really hearing her, really feeling her, really acknowledging who she is as a being. And you can have your hand hold hers, or your both hands hold hers. And just notice the way your heartbeats connect. And let's validate her. You can validate how amazing she is, how beautiful she is, how thoughtful she is, how sweet she is, how she has a beautiful imagination, how she has the best ideas, how she's so courageous and willing to try things, how honest she is, how determined she is, how there's no one else like her. And as you hold on to her and you notice this heartbeat between the two of you matching, you might notice that there's this gold that's going through her and you and her and you and cycling almost like a big circle. It's like your energies are somehow melding together. And everything you know in your heart that you've already healed, she gets to feel now. She gets to know. Helping her heal to the next highest vibrational self of her. And everything she knows about you to be true and to be authentic, as she came in as this beautiful, perfect being, right out of the womb, this 3, 4, 5 pound baby, and eventually this teenager. She knows your purity. And as you hold her hand and this gold goes through both of you, you remember that too. There you go. And continue to just sit in that energy, because above you, there'll be a timeline that's created from birth all the way till the end of your life in this lifetime. And in this timeline, we're going to watch as this gets gold, healing and moving any of the trauma, any of the stuck, frozen energy. So when we have really traumatic moments and our heart is literally broken, energetically, that's a thing where your pieces of your heart chakra are not with you because it's been stuck and frozen in that moment. So we're unfreezing those moments and bringing them back to ourselves. So as this gold goes around you two, the timeline starts to unfreeze these moments and starts to heal you. And right now, what you're doing is healing the past and your future and your present moment. Watch as that starts to become gold, that the patterns that you're stuck in no longer are there. So maybe you turn into your inner child. Maybe you see this childlike self when there's a hard situation or you get stressed. Maybe you just turn into a child because you were frozen and stuck in a moment that's a repeating pattern that's happening in your life right now. And that's what we're moving out. Maybe you go into fight or flight like your child self did at 6 years old, 12 years old, 13, 18 years old, or 17 years old. There you go. And you'll notice that this timeline starts to dissolve as it's healed. And you'll notice that that circle, that gold circle around the two of you, is starting to become softer and slower and stop. And when you both feel ready, you can look each other in the eyes, embrace each other. You can release your hands, or if you'd want to keep holding each other, that's okay too. And ask her about those places where she felt neglected or abandoned. And ask her now how she feels, what she knows about those moments. Is it true that she's alone? Is it true that she's abandoned? Is it true that she can't ever make a mistake? That she has to be responsible for everybody else? Is it true? Or does she get to be of love and joy? And does she get to nurture herself? Does she get to have a balance between being of service and also being able to love and being of service to herself? Your inner child is much smarter than sometimes she has gotten credit for. But on some level, she knows that. She's acknowledging that. And as you healed this timeline, you both decided that those patterns are no more. And if you'd like to sit across from her and let her know, I'm going to say this phrase and you can repeat it back to her. I see you. I'm seen by you. I'm important and you are important. I hear you and you hear me. I feel you and you feel me. And we are both free to be me. Notice what happens there. And I invite you to ask her, what is it that you want to create with her? Not only the type of connection that you want to have with her, but also the type of life. What have you imagined with her? What does she want with you? What does your space look like? What does your home look like? What does your friend circle, your community look like? What is the way that you give to the world? What is your service, your purpose to the world? And it can be as small as, taking a weekend to just enjoy yourself, or taking your camera and taking beautiful photos, or it could be, because these are all little things that will lead you to deeper purposes, but within you, you both have deep awarenesses. So any of the little insights that are presented between the two of you are insights for you to be led to where you need to go to. Take a deep breath. And you can let her know you love her. Go ahead and create a big gold sun above your head, calling back all of your energy, and she can as well. Pop that gold sun, fill it in, send it to all of your cells. And when you are ready, you can gently open your eyes. And I invite you to take a couple minutes to write all that down, to acknowledge that for yourself, especially what your next steps are. So I'm gonna give you a moment to do that, and then we'll talk and we'll share. And we'll do our last little bit. It's already almost 11, holy moly. Time flies. So yes, take some time to write. And then I will ask you to share. Okay, 30 seconds, wrap it up. And obviously you can go back to this. This is yours, but it's just something you can refer to for now. All right. Anyone like to share anything that came up for you for maybe next steps that your inner child and you want to create together, or maybe how it felt to let her know that she gets to be safe and free and you're seen by her and she's seen by you, or even the timeline or the healing between the two of you? Would love to hear what happened. Or if you have questions about any of that too.
I can go first again.
Thanks, Crystal.
Okay. Um, so, sometime in the beginning when I held her hands, all of a sudden the realization hit me because I had some intruding thoughts around, like her like healing because of Healed Me Now. And I was like, but she didn't go through all the things yet. Like she didn't have the crazy traumas. And I realized like those traumas were harder for me as an adult because of the beliefs that I had as a child. That's like, duh. Like, hello. Okay, yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
So that was that. Um, and also, we were in a different house, different room. She was a little bit older this time. Um, and there was just some really beautiful things that just kind of like were flowing through us that kind of I felt like I didn't have to be conscious of, but there were like little things that were like boop, 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 like showing me it's what it was. It was interesting. I don't know like how to explain it, but um
Like healing, like things that were coming to heal, like energies that were coming to heal you.
yeah. And sometimes
Cool.
I could see some, like flash of something or, which was cool. I don't know. And then, and I don't know how much of that was, I guess we're all a part of it anyway, but um but well, like given where I am right now and like who I wanted to be at that time, I'm like it's
Mm.
coming to fruition, and it's yeah, it just felt really like sweet to see.
Got chills when you said that. That's beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy. That's really lovely. So thank you for sharing that. Oh, I love that. Anyone else have something to share? It doesn't have to be all rainbows and butterflies, but um,
I'll go again too.
yes. Okay, thank you, Jessica.
So for teenage me, this time, it was it was nice because going through this talk, like she realized that she could be like um sillier, which was still like awkward for her to do, sort of like to be free and like be silly or be more joyful. Like it was almost like um you could like it almost felt like she couldn't show any happiness or joy because it meant something negative, like or like you'd get in trouble. Like I couldn't be happy because no one else was happy. So that's what it felt like. And So she felt like a little bit more free to be silly, like, are you sure it's okay? But like, okay. So sort of testing it out and then just showing her once we shared everything that I know now and everything that I've been doing now, then um she felt even more like comfortable and I shared with her that um like we didn't get to grow up really, so now I'm doing that. Like now I'm exploring things of what I like and don't like. Now I'm figuring out who I am, and there's no one to like shame us. Um and now I can or control any of that. And now we can make mistakes and not like be in trouble or tear ourselves down. We can make different choices more easily and freely. I know, I think I might be breaking up my
Yeah,
connect.
I
Yeah,
thought
so
I think we lost you a little bit there. Would you say that again? Like after mistakes?
okay, so after mistakes we can make mistakes without being like we wouldn't get in trouble or be shamed about it. And we can make choices. We can change our mind easily this time. Like before, we couldn't change our mind. Now we can, and it's okay. And so it's just a little bit like I just saw like there is a less resistance there, definitely. And as far as what we can do for the future, it's just a matter of continuing to do like what I'm doing now. Like this is what she needed. So what I'm doing now is definitely going to help heal that part of myself.
I love that. That's amazing. Sounds freeing. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Jessica. Also, I just wanted to, and it says Crystal, I think she sent a heart to you. That's lovely. Um, I love the support. I think something that well, Crystal, you brought up is that the what you experienced as a child was happening, or you didn't necessarily feel or have the same experience as an adult as a child, for the specific moment of the trauma or the situation, but because there was something that happened as a child, it related to even creating that situation or helping you heal that. Um, it was like attracts like in that situation where you still were working through patterns as an adult, so that situation came up because you had already had it and experienced it as a child. And Jessica, you're the fact that you're bringing up this freedom and this choice that she has, it kind of, for some reason, um it related to me because it's almost like um in both instances we have choices whenever. Like we can always break the pattern. There's no time and space. We can always break the pattern whenever we would like to. And again, this can be ritual for you. So you can break the pattern as you go through the work daily, just saying hello to your inner child and letting her know that she's free and just asking her, how are you communicating with me? Or how do you want to go about this thing? Or let's, make a decision about something. So in our last 8 minutes or so, we're going to do a couple more things with our inner child. But before we do that, I want to know if there's any other questions. But I loved how the both of you kind of addressed this freedom. So just wanted to bring that up. Okay, well, great. We're going to take advantage of the 8 minutes then. Go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath. And allow yourself to be right behind your eyes. See that space again, and you can walk through the space and knock on the door of your inner child's room, inner teen's room, however she is showing up. And go ahead and ask her to sit with you again. And the present you might be wrestling with a situation or a decision or something like that. So what you in present time are wrestling with, have a conversation about it with your inner child and ask her for some insight. Ask her what's the best and highest good for the both of you, and discuss it together to see what the best decision could be, because your inner child can help you make decisions too. So ask her what the best decision for this situation is. It could be literally something very simple, like, should I do my laundry on Wednesday or should I do it on Thursday? Should I go with this? It can be a bigger decision. Should I go with this lawyer or this lawyer? Should I, decide on this date or this date? So just see what she says and how she communicates with you. And this may be a perspective you've never seen before, but it's a perspective that a part of you needs to hear. All right. And you can thank her for that. And you can, obviously, you have free will. You can decide how you want to go about this decision, but you and her made this decision together. So the level of trust within you is established. And then again, yes, you decide, but trusting this part of you can really give you some insight and really change what's going on. So now that you've had a conversation with her about that, just go ahead and ask her to stand in the center of the room and allow the versions of yourself year by year. So on one side of her, there will be each year. So let's say she's 5 years old, then next to her will be the 4-year-old, the 3-year-old, the 2-year-old, the 1-year-old version of her, and then the just born version of her standing next to one another. And then on the other side of her, if she's 5 years old, then the 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to the year before the age that you are right now, they're all standing in front of you. Just ask that they all stand in front of you. And we're going to give every single one of them a healing in a second so that they can all integrate within you. So as a spirit, as you see them, just allow them to appear and say hello to each one of them. As you say hello to the spirits of them, they will be able to say hello to you and see how that feels. And you can ask the universe, source energy to come and give them all a healing and give you a healing with this gold divine light. And allow yourself to let them know that you see them. And I'm going to repeat a phrase that I used before. I see you. I am seen by you. I am important and you are important. I hear you and you hear me. I feel you and you feel me. And we are both free to be me. And as this happens, you might see all of them start to merge together. And they'll merge into your heart space, merging into you. Remembering the innocence, the purity, the joy, the divinity that's in each of them, the creativity, the abundance, in each of them, that is you at the end of the day. And the wisdom that they carry. And you can ask God, Source, Universe to beam in and release anything that is maybe left over that wants to be released. From your energetic space. Might heighten your intuition as well. Any blockages towards connecting with your inner child and your intuition, you can ask to be released. There you go. Breathe. And when you are all done, all integrated, all received, gently walk out that door, walk out the house, that space, stand outside of it, maybe about 400, 500 feet away from it, and let it dissolve. Let anything else that you're seeing dissolve. Allow your attention to go right behind your eyes. Call all your energy back from this and any other lifetime in a big gold sun. Pop that gold sun and send it all the way down into your space, filling in every single part of you. And give yourself one more big gold sun. Fill in your heart space and let it just spread into every single other part of you. All right, and when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Nice work, ladies. Good work. I'm excited to see what comes of you healing this inner child. If you need to redo this, feel free. Sometimes when we hit stagnation or plateau in our lives, it's always great to connect to our inner child. So just go ahead and give yourself that space to do that. I also believe there's a meditation, like a small meditation on my Spotify or on my playlist for my podcast called Soul Healer. So you can find that there. It's just a 20-minute one. That's a really quick one. And you can just listen to it while you walk. But I hope that was helpful for you. I'll send you all this. Of course, if you are coming to Bali, I'll see you there. If I'm working with you, I'll see you there. Or I'll see you at our one-on-ones. Otherwise, I hope to see you at another workshop or at a reading. Also, if you'd like to go to Mexico with me on a cruise, I'll be speaking there in December. So come join me. We'll be going to Honduras. We're leaving from Galveston, Texas. So we're going all around. And otherwise, I hope this was helpful and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Crystal said, can you repeat the podcast track name? Yes, let me find the thing. Let me stop recording and then I will.